Orlando holidays are expensive, but what if we told you there was a way to save over £1,000 on a trip?
This includes all of your flights, your accommodation and even your park tickets.
We take you through the exact steps we've taken to save that money, plus a bonus one at the end, which you're not going to want to miss. So be sure to stick around because it's going to save us a fortune.
We have such an amazing trip coming up and we can't wait to share all of our tips and tricks with you.
So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out.
Hi guys and welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, we are Theme Park Travels.
We upload content every Sunday and this is the first vlog in the Florida series, so you can get excited with us.
Okay, so Florida talks are in full swing, and I know a lot of people, especially when we first started looking, we were like, oh, we want this specific date. But what we'd recommend first is actually picking around 2 to 3 times a year that you think you may be able to go, even if it's 3 specific weeks that you may be able to go. So part 1 of this vlog is to find a date within your budget.
I'm now going to take you through the exact method that we went through to find the right date in the easiest fashion possible to save the most money.
So this all starts with the Love Holidays website. Now, we're not saying that you should use Love Holidays to book your holidays through. You can use whichever travel agent or booking website you'd want to actually book the flights and hotel. However, what we like about the Love Holidays website is the easy to use calendar, which can help you navigate to the cheapest dates very fast over the next 8 or 9 month period. So of course, this is to do with an Orlando holiday. So what we're going to do is we're going to search Orlando in the list of destinations. And then we want to fly out from Manchester. Now, of course, if you're flying out of London or anywhere else in the UK, you can, of course, select this. You can choose a differing number of nights. Obviously, for this one, we're just going to go for 10, a nice round number. Now, normally you would select your date which you want to go away on, but the whole point of this is to try and find the cheapest date. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Love Holidays do that for us. So now what we'll do is we'll hit search and see what it returns. First thing that's come up used to be called the Avanti Palms. Now it's the Wyndham iDrive Avanti Resort and Conference Centre. This is a budget hotel, typically one of the cheapest around. We've actually stayed here. I would recommend it if you're looking for a budget hotel. The reviews can be hit and miss, but I'd say that they're not as bad as they seem. We'd recommend staying there if you were doing this on a budget. Now, of course, you can see the cheapest is September 2025. Got the 15th, obviously that's on Monday, that's 729, and then you got 619. So you got £100 saving per person just from a different date in September. It doesn't have to be September, of course. You could choose different months, and we'll come to that later on. Right, so in the next scenario, if you wanted to stay on an on-site Universal hotel, very easy to search. We just search Universal Orlando Resort on the destination or hotel name. Now this will bring up a various amount of hotels that are close to or on-site for Universal. Our personal favourite is the Dockside. Of course, you've got Volcano Bay, Terra Luna, Sapphire Falls, Aventura, and then obviously the premium hotels. Now, obviously the spirit of this is how to save as much money as possible. We're going to pick out one of the budget hotels. We'll pick out the Dockside. On the calendar, the cheapest date is the 23rd of November 2025, and that's at £849. When you compare this to the most expensive date on the calendar, which is the 28th of November at £1,149, this is a £300 per person saving just by choosing a different date. Now, let's say, for example, you wanted to choose a different month, like on the previous example, but again for this on-site hotel. Let's use the February example. February again, popular time of year, Universal, Mardi Gras. A lot of people want to stay on site. So currently you can see that the cheapest date in February is £1,119 for 10 nights. Versus the most expensive date, which is the 15th of February 2026, and this is coming in at £1,449. This shows a £300 per person saving just by choosing a different date. So you're probably thinking, does this work with Disney as well as Universal and a budget international drive hotel? The answer is yes. As you can see on the screen, we've got the Disney All-Star Music Resort, and we have found the cheapest date over the next 8 to 9 months, which is currently the 19th of January 2026. As you can see, for 10 nights, we've got £1,049 per person. Now, that week is a particularly expensive week in January, not sure why, but we can see that Monday is the cheapest. You can see that if you book the Tuesday rather than the Monday, you'd be paying an extra £800, which is absolutely staggering. Typically across the month of January, you'll be looking at paying somewhere between £1,150 and then £1,250. So again, you've got a £200 per person saving there just by getting quick access to the cheapest day on the calendar.
So by following this tool and by booking in advance, so we booked around about 10 months in advance, we actually saved, this is wild by the way.
Drum roll, please.
So we paid this price, and if we were going to book around about in today's price, it would actually be this price. So in total, we worked out, because obviously we're staying for 14 nights, we actually saved about £931, which is just...
It's a crazy saving.
Crazy, like £931 is spent. It's spent.
Yeah, exactly.
For
That's
food, for more ears.
more
like,
ears.
It's just nuts how crazy you can save so much money. Like that's a lot. So one of our next tips now that we are going to move on to is actually staying on an on-site hotel.
Now, this might sound quite counterintuitive because sometimes the international drive hotels, the budget hotels like the Avanti one that I showed earlier, yeah, they can present a deal. And when you find a deal and a bargain on them, go ahead. But quite often, you'll still get good deals on the on-site hotels, and the on-site hotels provide you so many other benefits that will save you money while you're in Orlando in terms of transport to the parks, early entry to the park so you don't have to spend extra on fast passes, and then also a lot of the time your resort fees are included as well, because a lot of the time with the budget hotels they will charge you the resort fees up front when you arrive, and I think when we stayed in the Avanti it was about £80 or £100 a week, so it's a bit of a nasty surprise when you turn up.
So some of the hotels obviously vary depending on what sort of holiday that you're looking for. We always stay on site at the Universal hotels because we just love them so much. So as Sam's just said, we have stayed at the Avanti Palms before. It was a fantastic deal we got. We did book through Love Holidays, and it was about £650 per person, Virgin flights, and the stay was at the Avanti Palms International Drive. And we were there for 8 nights.
Yeah.
And we had the best time. The only thing was, of course, when we turned up, we had resort fees to pay. And other things that didn't quite work for us was the shuttle buses. So there was like only 2 shuttle buses that left in the morning and 3 that came back overnight. And I always found it was around about tea time and nothing like much later on, because like City walks open until 1 a.m. and we wanted to stay and obviously see what the entertainment and things like that. So I felt like that hotel like restricted us a little bit. So this year we're going back to the dockside. This is our 3rd stay on site, which we're really excited for. As I say, you literally walk out the hotel and there's always a bus without fail.
No spending on Ubers like what we did at the Avanti.
Like
I think we spent about £200 between us on Ubers. Yeah. So we've decided to pay the bit extra, stay on site, so we save that, because it would be quite often we'd stay late and we'd think, oh, let's just get an Uber back. So yeah, that's a top tip really. A lot of the time staying on site can save you the hidden costs that come with staying on International Drive.
And one thing to consider as well, so obviously if you want to stay at a Disney hotel, you'll get different perks compared to when you're at a Universal hotel. So at the dockside you can get early entry from 8 a.m, which is just fantastic because you can get a big head start, and even getting in some of the queues a little bit quicker than others as well. If you are staying on site this year, let us know in the comments down below where you're going. Is it your first time? Is it a returning hotel? And why is it a returning hotel? Because we'd love to know. Why is your favourite hotel too? One thing to consider on your Orlando trip is, of course, do we hire a car or not? And the majority of the time, you don't need one, because there is like shuttle buses that get you to and from the parks, and not just one type that get you to all. You can get Ubers and Lyfts, and to be honest with you, the most we've ever paid was probably about $7, something like that, to get us back from one of the parks before.
I think we might have paid about $15 back from Disney to the top of International Drive. So the Ubers are quite cheap. It's just the costs will mount up the more and more you get them. But in my opinion, depending how long you're staying for, probably still will be cheaper than a car. But then obviously that's where the benefit of staying on site comes in, because if you're only doing the Universal parks, you've got a Universal hotel with the transportation, or if you do the Disney parks, you stay in the Disney hotel with with that transportation as well.
One thing to consider though is you do have the iDrive. This is another way that we saved a lot of money, especially on some Ubers as well. So the iDrive goes honestly right the way down, and it was just fantastic. There's 2 different routes as well, so you can actually there's another bus called the Lynx bus, and this can get you to and from the airport as well for only $5, which is fantastic.
But the iDrive trolley is a little green bus, effectively, that goes up and down the International Drive. I think it goes from basically the top outlets near Universal to the Vinewood outlets near the bottom. What we did actually to get to Disney is we went all the way down to the bottom outlets, and then got an Uber from the outlets. Tickets are about 12 quid for a week?
I think so. The tickets were around about $16 for the week, but you can hop on and off as many times as you like. And those buses are lovely and aircons. There's always loads of room and loads of space. And they're the best sit down after a long day at a park. So yeah, we'd highly recommend looking into the iDrive, and you can buy these online before you go, or you can literally just get on the bus on the day and just say, I want a weekly pass please, and it's $16, which is fantastic.
Recap, what you want is the right location for the parks that you want to cover, or alternatively a central location that's pretty central to everything, probably somewhere close to Epic Universe, because that seems to be in the centre. Now, also be mindful of the iDrive trolley as well, which can go up and down International Drive. It's pretty cheap, $16 like you said for the week, you can't go wrong. And then you can get Ubers to places that you can't get to once you've got off the iDrive trolley. But like we said, for us it's Universal, so we're staying up International Drive at the dockside. We love it.
Okay, so the next section is how can we save money on some park tickets? So one place we discovered that we loved, no pun intended, is Discovery Cove.
Oh.
Because we unfortunately didn't have the cameras last year, but we did go to Discovery Cove last year, and it was just fantastic. We didn't do the dolphin swim, but we did. You can go around and feed the birds as many times as you like. You can go in any of the reefs as many times as you like, and literally there's rays and fish are swimming around you. It's such a beautiful place. You get your snorkel and all like your life jacket like stuff all included, don't you? Like, it was just great, and your food is unlimited all day.
So included in that, like you said, the food, but actually the alcohol as well. It's only really the cocktails that are excluded, but if you like beer, you get beers included, soft drinks, all day dining. It's fantastic. Now, the ticket itself, we paid £240, which on the face of it sounds,
like,
wow,
oh my God.
Well that's not saving money. However, included in that, we got 14-day access to SeaWorld, we got 14-day access to Aquatica, and 14-day access to Busch Gardens, with the transportation included to Busch Gardens from Orlando. So when you add it up, you go, well, actually, that's a quality deal, because if we went for a week in the cheap deal at the Avanti, we paid £240 and we got access to 4 parks. That's Discovery Cove, SeaWorld, Aquatica, and Busch Gardens. So that was basically over half of the holiday taken care of. Now, obviously people love Disney, people love Universal, and you may go for longer, so you can still cram those in. But you might not want to spend every day there, and you've still got an extra option for other tickets included in the Discovery Cove ticket. Now, it would be really interesting to see how much they are if you book them all separate. So what we'll do is, through the power of editing, we will add a breakdown in now. Just by booking that ticket alone, you've saved a lot more money rather than booking them all separate, and you've managed to get your food included, you've probably seen some dolphins, and you've swam with some stingrays, so what more can you want?
I've got a question for you all. So if you've ever done the coach journey to Busch Gardens and back, whether it was with an undercover tourist ticket or not, I actually want to know, what film did you get on the coach? Because we got Toy Story 1 on the way there and Toy Story 2 on the way back.
Yeah, the driver looked after us. Yeah, you can't really go wrong with that.
So let us know in the comments below what your movie was. Okay, so depending on when you're going, we've always used attraction ticks or Florida ticks, or even undercover tours has been fantastic for even just like one day. Like if we just wanted to do Disney for one day, like extra for example. But one thing we found is if you go through to the direct website, especially Universal, sometimes they do a deal. When we've been in the past, they've sometimes done buy 2 days, get 3 free, which is just fantastic really, isn't it? It's really good price. So all we can say is just make sure you keep your eye on the prices, like at all times, probably about 12 months before you, or 10 to 12 months before you are, when you're starting to look and like book and looking at those 2 to 3 times of the year when you are available to go, start looking at prices, to start looking at tickets for Disney and Universal. If you go through Undercover Tourist, or there's another one called the Orlando Tickets, and they actually let you put like a £1 deposit down and let you spread the cost as well. They're really another good company if you
they're typically one of the cheapest ones. I think we only put a £1 deposit down as well, so that's always helpful with paying for other costs. But yeah, just to summarise that, extra top tip, just be a nerd with the ticket prices. Like it's a really...
And it's fun anyway, it's fun. Like, I know everyone doesn't want to be penny watching, that's not what we're asking to do, or that's not quite what we do. But it's just fun to be like, oh my God, that's like £300 saved there. And I say with the hotel, it's £900. I'm like, well, there's the ticket sorted.
I think pretty much every holiday we've spent at least 2 to 3 months monitoring the ticket prices most days. And you can even do the same with the flights and the hotels as well. Like you become, like I said, like a bit of a Florida nerd. You get to know the prices and you know where the deals are, so you can strike while the iron's hot when you see one.
If you've been to Discovery Cove before, we just wanted to know basically what is your favourite part? Was it feeding the birds? Was it swimming with the dolphins? Or was it getting stuck in the quite literally
lazy river?
Doesn't
move.
Never moves.
Basically just a body of water, no current.
And you have to basically swim round with, and then there was a bit, wasn't there, where there was a waterfall and you just get hit in the face because there's no current at all. Yeah. But it's still a good laugh.
Right, so you're in Orlando, you've booked your flight, you've booked your hotel, you've booked your ticket, and you've got the perfect hotel in the right location to save you the most money. But one of the biggest costs for going to Orlando is all of the treats and snacks that Gemma can't resist.
It's so easy to get out of hand with just go, oh yeah, let's just buy this, and next minute you're spending nearly £200 a day or more on food, and it's outrageous. You definitely can get it under £100 a day for food for most of you if you really care with it.
Now, don't get me wrong, if you're the type of person that has a budget and you know how to stick to it in Florida and you want to spend as much as you want on the food that you want, like Gemma, then by all means, go ahead.
You mean unlike Gemma, I do not stick to it. I'm just like, oh, cupcake.
Yeah, basically. So go ahead, spend what you want, have a great time. This is this section in the video isn't really to sort of to try and stop people from spending money. No. It's not the case. Spend what you want. It's your holiday. However, if you do want to do it on a budget, or you want to sort of do it in the most cost-effective way, we have lots of little tips to get around that with the food as well.
So you can, if you've never been before, this is like gold dust. You can actually take snacks in with you. So we, on the first day especially, we love going to Target. It's the best shop over there. It's huge and just full of so many lovely snacks and just like different drinks to try as well. So we always go there and get like things that are like individually wrapped, whether it be like croissants or paleo chocolates or like protein bars, granola bars, things like that can just go in your theme park bag. So they also have an aisle and they have like dollar sweets with like Swedish fish and all kinds in, and it's $1 for some sweets for the day. It's
extra sugar for running around the parks.
Yeah, absolutely. One other thing we do is get the cordial electrolyte drinks. So they're like basically what you can get in the UK, the Robinson's cordial squeezies, but you can get them over there. So what we do on day one as well is hit up International Drive, go to one of the lovely shops that we see, and they always have like a Disney bottle with 2025 or 2026 written across them, or all Universal, any theme you can think of, they've got. And basically every park has a refillable water station. We take our little squeezy and put it in. Don't get me wrong, if there's a Jaws cocktail at Universal Studios, I'm trying it along the way. But in terms of like cheap hydration, it can be done. All the water stations are all around Universal, Disney, like all around the SeaWorld parks, Busch Gardens. So we just take that bottle with us absolutely everywhere. We just share the bottle, obviously, and just take the little juices with us, and it keeps our electrolytes up as well.
So rather than buying the resort mugs or the refillable $30 cups, whatever it is, and then you've got to pay $10 a day to fill it back up, which is wild. just get yourself a cheap bottle. Yeah, anywhere on International Drive, you'll be able to get just a cheap bottle, fill it up with the free water in the park, of course, bring your electrolyte squeezy, and you've got yourself some juice for the day. And it's probably a lot healthier than the...
Having Coca-Cola and stuff all the time too, because I think fizzy drinks sometimes dehydrate me. Don't get me wrong, it's nice as a little pick-me-up as well, and a bit of caffeine, like about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm like, oh my lord, in like 40 degrees heat. But yeah, it's not good for all around the clock, especially for young ones.
But at the same time, if you want to get the resort mugs and you want to go crazy on the Coca-Cola, by all means,
you go for it.
Go wild.
You go for it. This is just, as I say, this is just a little tip that we found along the way. Another tip we found along the way is Americans do very big portions. I mean, to be fair, we do have restaurants in the UK, obviously, that do big portions as well, but Americans go hard or go home. Like, their portions are extraordinary, and we always leave, don't we? We always end up leaving bits behind. So what we found now, obviously there's some restaurants where there's no denying we will eat our own food,
yeah,
and I'm like,
got our own food
you're
each.
not touching mine. But there's places like, for example, on City Walk, you've got the NBC Grill, and they do these lovely platters, and they're not that expensive either. And you've got all different wings, chicken, chips, loads of things, and obviously it's a shared thing, and we're not going to fall asleep in the heat. We haven't spent loads of money, so yeah.
And then there's other places, like if you want to, say you've been to the Kennedy Space Centre all day, your feet's killing you, you don't want to trek around City Walk and sit down for a sit-down meal and get dressed up. What you want is some takeout and to go back to the room and watch some TV.
Nice sit down.
A nice sit down. Now, what we did last time is we went to a place called CC's.
It was bliss.
which did a fantastic pizza takeout. It was $11 for a humongous pizza. It
Like,
must have been bigger than the British Domino's.
Yeah, so I think whatever the largest Domino's is, it's such an extra large Domino's. I don't think there
I
is.
don't think there is.
Well, even bigger than that, but that was their medium, and it was $11, so we just halved it.
Yep.
And there you go.
And that's a cheap tea, basically.
$5.50 each for tea.
You can't
Which is
beat it.
crazy, and just sat in the aircon, living and loving life.
I think that might have been when we did 4 Disney parks in one day, and we had no energy whatsoever. So that was the best tea going. Now, the other cheap tea, which is on City Walk, and what we like to do is we like to double it up with like an activity. So you might want to do the, is it the adventure golf? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so you got the adventure golf, and I think it was 2 for $24 as well on both of the courses at Universal City Walk.
So what we do is we'll do that. We'll go to somewhere like Pat O'Brien's, or we'll go to the Coconut Club, have some drinks. But rather than have a big expensive meal, in the past what we've done is we've gone to Panda Express. You've had the orange chicken.
Oh, the orange chicken. Like, do you know what? I'm not really one for like loads of sauce or anything like that, but it's so nice. It's like my favourite thing. As soon as we go, like, can we go? Can we eat? And it's less than $10 if you just want, isn't it? Like one side, your main, and it's not small portions either. There's quite big portions.
I think it's literally, I think it was like $8 or $9 for
drink as well.
For this orange chicken. Keep an eye out in the series and count how many times Gemma says orange panda.
I keep calling it orange panda because I'm so used to the orange chicken. I just call it orange panda now.
So
Panda. Is it Panda Express?
Yeah, it's Panda Express. But Gemma calls it orange panda.
Yeah.
Still to this day, don't know why.
So another thing, if you are going to Disney Springs, there's obviously like a load of outlets there that do some cheaper ears as well if you're just looking to save some money on merch. And another thing that they do is some happy hours. So sometimes between about 1 to 3 p.m. Obviously Disney Springs can be a little bit quieter unless it's the weekend, of course. But if you're looking for a midweek shop, or if you go into the circus like we are doing this time, Drawn to Life, they do some happy hours between 1 and 3, and there's some severe discounts, like heavy, like nearly like $15 to $20 discounts. We can drop them in down below on how cheap they can actually go to. Like, it's just nuts. So
we got recommended STK. By Castle and Coasters. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Literally, they've got a happy hour menu loads of Wagyu steaks and Wagyu beef, which is expensive enough anyway, and it's discounted down to like $9 or $10 a dish. It's absolutely crazy. So we'd recommend that if you fancy some cheap lunch out in Disney Springs. I think we'll definitely try and get that in this holiday, won't we?
Yeah, sort of out of like the peak heat as well. If you've got children and just want to take them out of the heat as well, and just have a nice sit down, like that's the place to go. Now is my favourite part. We've got a mug up there with it on. I cannot express my love for this place. I know some people may have their hang-ups about it, but Voodoo Donuts.
That is your favourite place.
It's my favourite place. Like, we always get donuts on the way home if we've been to Universal Studios. And I'll have one before I go to bed, and I'll have one as I wake up in the morning. They are so nice, and if you've never been before and you're going, please try the grape donut for me. You liked it was the Oreo and Snicker one last time, and I had both.
I feel like they had the Oreo one, and then there was like a mocha one, was it? Was it like a coffee one?
There was a coffee one as well, I think, last time. And sometimes during different seasons, like Halloween, they've got two like donuts, unlimited donuts to try now. So if you go to the Universal Parks or around City Walk just for a walk, this is the place to go. And I'll tell you something, they start at $3 as well. They are not expensive at all, and they're just unreal, aren't they? Yeah. Like, also another one to try is the Homer Simpson donut. Now, I think you can only get this once you're in the actual studios, unless they've moved them. Right. We did check. We haven't seen them unless they've moved them recently to the actual stores on City Walk. But if you go to Universal Studios, go to the Simpsons Land, and go to the Quick Mart and buy yourself a Homer Simpson donut, because it's bigger than both of our heads combined, and it was $9.
Pretty big.
And it can definitely be shared between 4 or more. Like, we struggled, didn't we? But it was a great treat for the day, and as I say, $9 can't go wrong.
No, that was one of our favourites, and I think we'll definitely try and get one in this year, just in case the Simpsons IP goes at some point. So we've got to make the most of those donuts while we can get them.
So, if you love Voodoo Donut, comment below your favourite donut, because we'd love to try any recommended donut down below.
Okay, so one quite radical way to save money, but I think it's fairly doable when you think about it, just might not be that common, is, do you really need a case? Yeah. Now, unless you're like Gemma and you're going to bring back hordes and hordes and hordes of merch from Disney and Universal, you probably don't need a case. So now you're probably thinking, Sam, how am I going to take all of my clothes for 2 weeks in Orlando? Well, actually,
we did do it last year. We had 2 of the carry-on cases, didn't we? That you would normally use for a Ryanair flight if you were going to go, what's it called? Priority. If you were going to go priority. So
that is a cabin bag and your hand luggage. So basically, you get your cabin bag that goes in the overhead, and then the hand luggage which goes under the seat. We managed to get a week's worth of clothes in both, with room to spare for other accessories and things like that. Now, if you're like us and you're going for 2 weeks, you're probably thinking, yeah, gonna need a case. Well, you have on-site laundry, where I know it's not popular, isn't particularly exciting doing laundry on holiday, but if it's gonna save you about £150 each person for each, really, because typically it's about £75 each way for a case. If you have a case each, then it's going to cost you £300 between 2. So if you don't do that, you save £300. You take an hour out of your day maybe to do the laundry in the hotel. Obviously, you'll need to check that.
But imagine doing the laundry and looking over at Disney, and doing the laundry and looking over at Universal. Like, what a best view.
Quite like your sales pitch of the laundry machines at Disney. It was pretty good.
During our time in the parks, we would say that we wear a lot of gym wear, so obviously stuff that's breathable, because it is going to be hot and there's a lot of walking to be done. So there's a lot of trainers, there's no heels being packed, no heels for you. And then, but what we're trying to say is a lot of our stuff can basically roll up and just go in the case, and you'd be very surprised at how much little room they take. And one thing I've done previously as well is I took my neck pillow, popped the pillow out, I got all my socks and put the socks and my bikinis in my actual neck pillow. Okay, it wasn't the exact pillow, but it still did its job, and when I was trying to fall asleep on the way home, it still acted as a pillow for me, so it's fine.
And then you fell asleep on my shoulder.
Yeah, but it's just an idea, obviously, of saving money. And as we say, if there's quite a lot of yous going, you could be saving yourself definitely over £1,000 at this point. Yeah, just on the suitcases, you haven't even got there yet.
So if you follow that tip, it's probably about 300 quid slashed off the budget with everything else. You're probably well over £1,000 by now. So as we head into the final top tip, this is the one that saves you the serious money moving forwards.
Okay, so this tip, firstly, is not for absolutely everybody who's going to watch this video, because you may only be able to, depending on when your time off is and things like that, you may only be able to go once a year. But if you're going once a year and going for 3.5 weeks, actually you may still get your money's worth. So one thing that we've considered this year is the annual passes. So it's one thing that we have been weighing up, and we've decided to go ahead because we're probably going to end up saving quite a bit of money, and I mean over £500 worth, because if we're able to go 2 other times, which we're planning for next year, hopefully for a part of our honeymoon as well, even if it's just for a week, we've still saved over £500, and we're about to tell you how we can do that.
Yep, as you can see, as it breaks down, the typical 3-part ticket for Universal will exclude Epic Universe from this now, because at the moment of recording, they're not included in the annual pass, but I think it's very likely they'll get added on. Currently, the 3-part ticket is £320 a ticket. So if you are gonna go twice, let's just say, it's gonna cost you £640 if you're gonna go twice in a year. Versus the preferred pass that we bought, we paid £468 through Universal directly. We're already saving around about £200 just for 2 visits. But with us planning to go 3 times, that's going to add up to about £960 worth of the 3-part tickets versus your £468 annual pass. We're looking at about £500 saving, sorry.
And that's each, by the way.
Each.
That's each. Also, bear in mind, once you have these annual passes, you also, depend on what pass you get, of course, but we'll be able to get 10% off food and some of the merch as well, which is just fantastic, because even more money saved as you spend in the park as well.
And then one top tip that we didn't realise until after we bought the pass is that once you've got an activated annual pass, that means you've used it in the park. Say you come back later on in the year and go to Halloween Horror Nights, you get a free Halloween Horror Nights ticket included with your annual pass, so you don't need to pay the 80 quid on top, so that's more money saved.
And the pass that we're talking about is this one, because it's not available on absolutely every single one of the passes, but it's on these passes. So as we conclude this super exciting video, we just want to say, honestly, thank you so much for listening to us ramble.
Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully you don't spend all of our savings in Universal this year.
Hope you know when you do end up going to Orlando and to Florida, you have honestly the best time. As you say, splurge as much as you want. This is literally just a little hint and tips just to help you save some little bits of money, like in between. That £900 we've saved through the hotel, we've actually used towards those annual passes, so they pay for themselves. It's just fantastic.
Please let us know what you thought of our money saving tips in the comments below. Let us know if you've got your own money saving tips that us and
we'll take them with us.
that us and our viewers down below can also share, and we'll share the savings. And then also let us know if you've got plans to go to Orlando this year or next year. If you've got a big holiday plan, we'd love to know about it.
Yeah, drop down below how long your countdown is, because ours is literally just under 2 weeks and we're so excited. So literally stay tuned, as we say, because we release a video every Sunday. This is our first vlog, as we said at the very beginning, of the Florida series, which is super exciting. And yeah, we're going to try and record pretty much most of the holiday. And there's another vlog coming after this one, which will be telling you all about our plans, what we plan to do. There's going to be some stuff that we normally go and do, and then there's going to be a couple of new things that we've never done before, and we can't wait to share with you.
So if you found this helpful, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our Orlando vlogs.
We can't wait to bring you with us for all of our Orlando adventures, but for now, we will see you soon. Bye!
Bye!